Welcome to Supporting and Reporting, that narrative that's imperative podcast. I am your host, Char. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please take a moment and subscribe below. And please feel free to chime in the comments as well. And I so graciously thank you for your support. And watching the news over the past week, every time I turned it on, I heard over and over and over again, consistently, constantly, all the different causes and effects. I heard about the different triggers and the effects that they have on everyone. I heard about the pandemic, the war, inflation, the stock market, gas prices, bullying, drugs, and crime. And to add insult to injury, you have all the effects from these causes. There is depression, anxiety, mental illness, and suicide. All these things are at an all-time high. After hearing all of this, it was a lot to hear. It was rough. I needed a moment to digest and process. While processing, I reflected, and all I can see is our ancestors and elders. They kept coming to mind how they didn't have much, they didn't make much, but they made it work. I can remember growing up and a gallon of gas was under $1. And to some back then, that was a lot. But they still made it work. Eggs and milk and bread was only a fraction of the price what it is right now. But somehow, they made it work. Cars and homes cost way less, but still a lot to some. But people still purchased and owned. Their jobs didn't bring in as much as we receive now. And we have way more opportunities than they had. And I understand that as time evolves, so does the stresses and trauma. So much of our population needs some type of stimulant to get up in the morning, to go through the day, and a sedative at night to go back to sleep. So many of us are going through life so subdued, day in and day out. Not really having the true experience of life and living. It's kind of like the movie Groundhog Day. The same thing over and over and over again, day in and day out. It's so devastating to go through, I can only imagine. But it's even worse to sit back and watch someone you love and care about, to witness this, to watch this. I have no judgment, I have no criticism. That's not me, not a single one. Because years ago, I had a mild panic attack. I was at an event and I got a call that my mother had fallen. And I was triggered because it was close. It was not that long after my nephew had made his transition. So I was on my way to the hospital and I was full of fear, not knowing what I was going to walk into, not knowing what to expect. My chest began to tighten up on the ride there to the hospital. And I began to have difficulty breathing. And a friend of mine told me to pull over, and she drove the rest of the way. And after I heard and saw that everything was okay, my chest began to open up. And I can breathe. But I had gotten myself so worked up mentally that this was the effect. So I just want to explain and acknowledge that I completely understand. And this doesn't compare to years of panic attacks and anxiety and depression. I just want to express that I get it, that someone gets you. But so often we sometimes work ourselves up about things we have no control over, or just the unknown. I just want to express that it's okay. That our feelings are valid, your feelings are valid, my feelings are valid, all of our feelings are valid, that it's all okay. That no one knows what type of trauma we all have been exposed to, or the long-term effects of it. That even though no one can see a physical scar, it doesn't mean that we're not scarred and wounded. It's okay. It's kind of like a wounded bird They need the proper support and resources to survive their wounds, to be ready to be released back into their natural habitat. Just like us, we need it also. We need the proper love, support, and resources to survive, so we can be fully functioning when we go back into society. I just want you to know it's okay, and that we will be okay, and that I am sending love and light to all of us. Love to help us heal, and light to brighten our paths on our journey. There is a season for all things. Please, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, please take the necessary season to heal. As always, the time we spent together is so important to me, and it was truly a pleasure and a joy. Please remember to take a moment and subscribe below. Until we meet again, have an amazing week.